I think the question should be rephrased. It's what it's like to be Filipino.
She wasn't supposed to win this one, not according to the rankings, not according to history. But Alex Eala doesn't read scripts, she rewrites them. In straight sets, she just tore through one of the hardest-hitting servers on the entire WTA Tour. And here's the part nobody saw coming. This might only be the beginning. At just 21 years old, the Filipina phenom is now one win away from a life-changing $743 million prize, a number that could rewrite the history books for Philippine sports forever. Because this wasn't a fluke. This is a pattern. Eala has been on a revenge mission, picking off 6 straight opponents who once got the better of her. And in Toronto, that hit list grew by 1. She took down Alycia Parks, the American who shares the record for the fastest serve ever clocked in WTA history, 129 miles per hour. This wasn't a lucky escape. It was a full-blown statement. Power, precision, composure, and absolutely zero fear. So now the only question left is how far can she ride this wave? Can she conquer a WTA 1000 event and walk away with the biggest paycheck Philippine tennis has ever seen? Inside Sobi Stadium, nobody was there for just another second-round match. They came sensing something bigger was unfolding, and Eala delivered. In a tight 72 minutes, she dismantled Parks 6-3, 6-4, punching her ticket to round 3 of the Canadian Open and adding another chapter to what's becoming the defining story of her breakout year. Rewind to January. Parks beat Eala in their only prior meeting, a brutal first-round exit at the Australian Open. Eala had actually won the first set 6-0, only to watch Parks storm back and take the match 6-3, 6-2. That loss clearly left a mark, but the woman who walked onto the Toronto court was a completely different competitor. "I've improved as a player since then," Eala said afterward, and the scoreline backed her up from point 1. Her strategy was simple on paper, brutal in execution. Shut down Parks' biggest weapon. The American's serve is one of the most feared shots in the sport, tied for the fastest ever recorded. It's the exact same shot that overwhelmed Eala in Melbourne. Not this time. She read it earlier, absorbed the pace, stretched out the rallies, and turned Parks's greatest strength into a liability from the very first game. Her return game was the real story. Standing aggressively inside the baseline, Eala took the ball early, redirected the power right back at Parks, and never let her settle into any kind of rhythm. The first set turned into a tactical clinic, 2 service breaks, 4 converted break points out of 9 chances, and a staggering 63.3% win rate on Parks's second serve. That number alone tells you everything. The moment Parks' first serve missed its mark, she was in trouble. Every time Eala landed a winner, the stadium packed with Filipino fans thousands of miles from home erupted like it was a home game. Set 2 followed a familiar rhythm. Parks dug in early and held serve with authority, but Eala's composure never cracked. She stayed locked in, broke through in the 9th game, and calmly served out the win. 6 straight victories now. And it's clear, the player who showed up in Toronto is nothing like the one who fell in Melbourne. This also marked her 8th win over a top 10 opponent this year, proof she's not just rising, she's arriving. With a massive WTA 1000 payday on the line and a potential third-round date with reigning Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova looming, the drama in Toronto is only just getting started. So here's a question worth sitting with. What would you do once you'd finally settled every score that used to haunt you? For Eala, the answer looks simple. Keep swinging. Keep believing. Keep proving that the kid who once showed up in mismatched socks and light-up sneakers has come too far to let her past write her future. The win over Parks was clean. The revenge was complete. But when Eala walked off that court, she wasn't thinking about the scoreboard. She was thinking about everything it took to get there. "Comparing where I am now to where I started the year, I've grown a lot," she said before the tournament even began. And that growth showed up everywhere. In her confidence, her shot selection, the calm she carries under pressure, and most of all, in the quiet belief that she now belongs on this stage with the very best. 7 months earlier, she was the one left shattered in Melbourne. Now she's walking off court at Sobeys Stadium as the one who conquered. The numbers make the transformation impossible to ignore. She avenged that Australian Open loss without ever looking rattled. Parks's 129 mph serve had once been unplayable for her. This time, Eala's elite return game shut it down completely. Patience beat power. Anticipation beat brute force. And this breakthrough came just weeks after a milestone that changed everything: her first ever WTA title, won in Washington. "It's been a crazy 24 hours, she admitted, still riding the emotional whiplash of celebrating one win while gearing up for the next battle. And yet, somehow, she stayed grounded through all of it. Even after cracking the world's top 20 for the first time, she wasn't obsessing over the number. "I check the rankings now and then, but it's not something I'm looking at after every match," she said, a mindset that might matter just as much as her tennis. She knows how far she's come. She's just not letting the number decide how far she goes next. "My focus is winning more matches. The level I bring to each one, that's the priority." That's become her signature. She walked into the DC Open, a rising talent hunting for a breakthrough. She walked out of Washington a champion with a whole new level of self-belief. But she knows this journey is far from finished. A massive WTA 1000 stage awaits, with a possible showdown against Wimbledon champ Linda Noskova on the horizon. Still, Eala isn't getting swept up in the noise around her name. "I'm still learning how to handle it," she said about the whirlwind jump from Washington straight into Toronto, admitting she's adjusting on the fly with barely any time to breathe between tournaments. And Toronto? It's starting to feel like a second home. Tickets sold out. A massive Filipino community across the greater Toronto area is showing up in force, and Eala is soaking in every bit of it. What started as a breakout run in Washington has snowballed into something much bigger, a movement following her from city to city, believing they're watching the start of a new era in Philippine tennis. "It's amazing seeing the Filipino community show up like this," she said, adding that the growing crowds could help grow the sport itself. So ask yourself, what would you do if the biggest break of your career was suddenly staring you in the face? For Eala, it's the same answer every time. Keep fighting, keep believing, keep proving the girl in the ruffled socks has come way too far to stop now. That 129 mph serve of Parks can end a point before it even starts. It's a weapon that's rattled opponents since she burst onto the tour. But Eala came prepared. On a Wednesday night in Toronto, she turned one of the scariest shots in women's tennis into something Parks simply couldn't lean on. Parks shares that fastest serve record with Venus Williams, set at the 2021 US Open. Normally, that kind of firepower means easy holds and short, brutal points. Against Eala, none of that held up. Instead of retreating from the pace, she stepped in, read it early, attacked the return, and dragged Parks into exactly the kind of long rallies she wanted no part of. Suddenly, the biggest weapon in Parks' arsenal became her biggest problem. In many ways, the match was decided before it even started, because Eala had done her homework since January, when Parks clawed back from a 6-0 first-set deficit to win 6-3, 6-2. Back then, raw power had swallowed her whole. This time, she showed up with a completely different blueprint. Aggressive court position, early contact, and relentless pressure on the second serve. Exactly where Parks was most exposed. The stats don't lie. 2 breaks in the first set. 4 of 9 break points converted. But the number that says it all is 63.3%. The share of points Eala won off Parks' second serve. Against someone who lives and dies by her first strike, that's a death sentence. The contrast in styles was stark. Parks, at 6'1", brings raw explosiveness and first strike aggression. Eala, 5'7" and left-handed, relies on angles, footwork, anticipation, and sheer relentlessness. She didn't try to out-hit Parks. She made every single point uncomfortable. For Eala, This win was about more than just revenge. It proved she can solve one of the toughest puzzles in the sport. So what's next after neutralizing the fastest serve in the women's game? You trust the process, trust the prep, and keep proving that patience beats power, even at its most terrifying. But she knows round 3 brings a completely different beast, with Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova potentially waiting. The win over Parks was total, the revenge complete. But the real prize in Toronto goes far beyond one match, because this WTA 1000 event offers something the DC Open never could: a $7.43 million total purse and a shot at the richest payday of her career. The National Bank Open ranks among the most prestigious non-Grand Slam events on tour, handing out 1,000 ranking points to the champion, double what Eala earned in Washington. The money is just as staggering. Last year's singles champion took home $752,275, a figure that's climbed sharply year over year. Her breakout season has already been financially massive. Add the $252,000 from her DC Open title, and a deep Toronto run could push her career earnings to an entirely new tier. But for Eala, the real prize was never the money. It's the ranking points, and the chance to prove she belongs among the sport's elite. She entered as the 25th seed, freshly minted as a career-high world number 20, with 2,161 points off the back of her Washington title. And now she's in position for a run that could shock even her. It won't be easy. She shares a draw half with reigning Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova, who's already beaten her twice this season and knows exactly how to expose her game. Noskova has dominated on serve in their past matchups, playing the kind of fearless baseline tennis that can break down even the tightest defense, including a semi-final in Berlin where she fired 33 winners against just 15 unforced errors. That's the level Eala may eventually have to match. But she's already proven she belongs, stacking up wins against elite names: Iga Swiatek, Jessica Pegula, Elina Svitolina, Amanda Anisimova, Naomi Osaka, Jasmine Paolini. The message is loud and clear. Alex Eala isn't knocking on the door of the WTA elite anymore. She's already inside. Now she stands on the edge of another breakthrough. What would you do if the opportunity of a lifetime were suddenly right there in front of you? For Eala, it's always the same answer. Keep fighting, keep believing, keep proving that the girl in the ruffled socks and light-up shoes has come too far to stop now. She's already taken down one of the most dangerous servers in the sport, silenced a sold-out crowd in Toronto, and put herself one win from a match that could define this whole chapter of her career. That massive WTA 1000 prize is within reach. But standing in her way is a familiar, formidable name: reigning Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova, the Czech world number 7 who's already beaten her twice and knows precisely how to trouble her. Noskova ended Eala's Berlin run with a clean 6-2, 6-4 win just weeks ago, then rode that momentum all the way to a Wimbledon title, cementing herself as one of the most dangerous players on tour. But here's the twist. The Eala that Noskova beat in Berlin might not exist anymore. Since that loss, Eala has claimed her first WTA title, climbed to a career-high world number 20, and strung together wins over some of the biggest names in the sport: Olympic champions, Grand Slam winners and finalists, top 10 players, former major champions. She's gone from promising talent to legitimate title threat. Noskova will still walk into any rematch as one of the WTA's best. But she also knows she may be facing a completely different opponent this time. And Eala's mindset couldn't be clearer. She's already beaten the best. She's already shown she doesn't blink on the biggest stages.